forgive the crazy hair, the lack of makeup, and the fact that I still don't sound like myself. I've been sick for like a week now and I'm over it. But I wanted to get this vlog started because I want to start reading the books that I'm supposed to be reading for the vlog. So here we are. For whatever reason, I have decided to read football romances leading up into the Super Bowl. I am not a football person. I am not a Super Bowl person. I sometimes will pay attention to the halftime show. Other than that, I don't particularly pay attention to football. But I like sports romance. It's a weird thing. But until now, I've only read football. No, until now, I've only read hockey romance. And I'm like, let's expand. So that's what we're going to be doing. It is January now. You will probably be seeing this hopefully in February, right before Super Bowl Sunday. That is the plan. Let me tell you what I'm planning to read for this. The first series that I'm going to be reading is the Playbook series by Alexa Martin. First book is Intercepted, and I'm going to start this tonight. I hope. I've been having some not great reading luck the last couple of days, so hopefully finally reading the books that are on my TBR that I'm actually excited for will help make me excited to read these. So, or just to read in general at this point. So this is the story of Marley. Marley is dating a football person, just an NFL star boyfriend, and she finds out that he is cheating on her, and they break up, and she decides that she's no longer going to be dating athletes until Gavin, the quarterback, shows up. And he's going to do everything he can to persuade her that he is not like her ex, and I'm into it. That's this series. I don't know anything about these. They just, I'm assuming, are in the same world. The other book I'm going to read is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. This is like a marriage convenience assistant to marriage of convenience romance. Slow burn, very big. This is very much north of 600 pages. It's really closer to 700 than it is to 600. But I'm actually really interested in this, and I was like, what's the perfect time then? This imaginary football, well, it's not really imaginary, this football season of romances that I've put myself into. So those are the 5 main books for this vlog. I may, depending on time, try to fit in some like KU romances. I've got a couple that I have flagged that are just KU romances that have football in them. I don't know how this is gonna go. Hopefully you do actually see this one day. I was just really excited as kind of based my reading off of this holiday that I don't actually participate in. But I will check in when I get started reading tonight. But I'm super excited, and we're just gonna... Hello friends, it's been a long time since I've actually updated you on anything, and I've actually finished 2 of the books. Things have been insane over the last couple weeks. When things get busy, I tend to forget to do anything that has to do with YouTube. So we're finally catching up tonight. It is Sunday. I have tomorrow off work, so my days of the week are more screwed up than normal. We all know this. That's nothing new here. It is Sunday the 15th of January. But I have finished both Intercepted and Fumbled by Alexa Martin, and I gave them both 3 stars. So let's talk about them separately. The first one was Intercepted. This follows Marley. Marley is in a very long-term relationship with one of the players on this team. These all follow players of the Denver Mustangs, and she has been a long-time girlfriend. Everyone's waiting for her ring. She finds out that her boyfriend has been cheating on her a lot, so she leaves him. But as she is doing that, the team also hires a new quarterback, and that quarterback is, Gavin Pope. And Gavin Pope is a guy that Marley hooked up with a couple years prior when her and her boy, I believe Chris was her first boyfriend. She hooked up with him, had a one night stand with him, when her and Chris were on a break, and it's kind of the guy she hasn't gotten out of her head ever since. And here he walks back into her life, looking to kind of win her back, kind of. And Marley is determined not to get involved with another athlete, and Gavin is kind of weaseling his way in there. My problems with this book are the writing isn't great. So I have a very hard time connecting with the characters to a certain extent, because the writing isn't very descriptive in the way that the characters look. So it takes me a long time, and like I had to try to look up art online, because I can't get a good grasp on what these characters look like. Marley is biracial, and she we don't really get a good description of her, except that we don't get a good description of her really at all. Gavin is eventually described as having olive skin, but like way after he's introduced, and it's really hard to connect when you can't really picture what you're looking at. They're more like blobs. That was the first problem. The second problem is that, and this probably was a lot of it, is that Marley speaks internally in a lot of hashtags. This was written it's published at least in 2018. She uses them, thankfully not out loud, because I think that would have driven me a little more crazy, but a lot of her internal dialogue is kind of accented by hashtags. Sometimes 5 or 6 on a page. And that really took me out of kind of the experience, because I think it would have been better if she had used maybe 1 or 2 every once in a while, and it was a little more sporadic, but it was constant, like a lot. I can probably open to a page. Let me see what I can do here. Oh, oddly not here. Hold on. There was literally 1 page towards here that I was like, dude. Here we go. This page uses the term Duggar terminology. Make it or break it. That's just the first page. On the next page, it's will risk life for booze and carbs. The following page has none. But the next one says, who gonna check me, boo? Like there are worse than that. Like I said, there are sometimes 6 or 7 on a single page, and it really took me out of it. But I thought this was very funny. I really liked, even though I couldn't picture her, Marley as a character was very fleshed out. She was funny. She knew what she wanted. She knew what she was trying to do with herself, and she was gonna get it. And she was coming out of this relationship where she had not a lot of authority over herself, and was going into one of the other things that I was like, what the hell about this, was that her resistance towards athletes lasted for all of 30 seconds. The smut's not particularly good in here. The buildup it was kind of lackluster. I don't know. It's not bad. It's just I just would look for a little bit more, specifically on the writing side. I think the plot here was pretty good, but I think the writing kind of just dragged the whole thing down. And then just a little while ago, I finished Fumbled, and this follows Poppy. Poppy is a single mom who works at a cabaret, and one night she's at work. It's not the best situation for her there, but she needs a job. And she walks in to one of the private parties from the NFL and sees TK. TK is the boy she loved when she was in high school. They were like best friends for like their whole young adult lives. And when Poppy was 16, I think, she got pregnant. And when she told TK she was told through his mother that he didn't want anything to do with this baby and to go get an abortion, and she took his money and did not, and then her parents kicked her out, and she moved from, I believe it was DC, to Colorado. I was like, where is Denver? And flash forward 10 years later, she runs into TK at this bar and kind of loses it, and they re-enter each other's lives. This one, again, 3 stars, not bad, but like real slow, and like there was no like build up, like nothing was, I don't know how to explain this. So they meet each other, this all happens in the first like 50 pages. So they see each other in this, at the cabaret. Poppy runs away, because she basically just saw a ghost, and then TK follows her, and they immediately start kissing. And I was like, what? And then everything kind of just happens without any build-up, and I'm just like, what the hell are we doing? There was a little bit at the end. I feel like if we had moved some of the end drama to like the middle, or more towards the middle, and gave that more time, I think your ending would have been better. Again, I had to just make up people that these people look like, and just, if it's correct, it's correct. If it's not, it's not. But blobs in terms of, you know, character descriptions, I think TK has green eyes, and Poppy has curls, and both characters, both Poppy and Marley, are just kind of described as being a little bit bigger than normal, but not really much is done with, has not anything to do with that. I did like this one for a couple of things. TK was great in terms of like a hero. He was good, he was great, and he was very swoony. But a couple of the things that I really enjoyed from this is, one, TK's a swoony hero, even though some of it was kind of like not built up. The moments were still there. I did really like the female friendships in this book. Poppy meets a lot of like football wives, and like looking into that as like a kind of getting a sneak peek. The author of both of this whole series is a NFL wife, so she has firsthand experience in all of this, which has been great. So I really liked the female friendship groups, and then the dynamic with kind of the wives and the girlfriends watching their players play, and the kind of the, I don't even know what to describe it. There's just like a group. It's like there's a camaraderie in that whole thing, even though they're kind of infighting all the time and very snippy, and I'm better than you, and you're just, you know, rich and poor and all that's all there, but like there's still this bit of, we are this kind of community that I really enjoyed. But I also really enjoyed the look into football players and concussions, and both Poppy's experience with it prior to TK coming back into her, not experience, Poppy's resistance towards football because of concussions. Poppy's son Ace wants to play football, and she will not let him because she knows that it's dangerous and there are big risks, specifically around concussions and brain injuries, and what goes on with TK while he's playing and they're together. And I really enjoyed that look, but the rest of it, like, there wasn't nothing going on, but it was like very meh. It was an easy read. It was a good time, but it was just kind of, it just kind of was hoping for at least a 4-star, and we haven't found it yet. I do have 2 more books in the series. This one's a tiny bit bigger than the other ones. They're still short. I don't know if I'm going to continue with Blitz, which is Bryn is the owner of one of the bars, and Maxwell Lewis, which there's some stuff at the end of book 2 that kind of, I don't even know if it sets this up, but there's kind of a nod to both of them at the end of book 2. It's not that I don't want to read these, I just want something higher than a 3-star for this, for my reading for this vlog. So I think what I'm gonna do is, I do have something else to read first, so I'm definitely not getting to this immediately. So we'll see how I feel after that. I might move into, I grabbed a couple of things from KU, but then KU's also in iffy in terms of what you're gonna find. But I might start this baby. I saw some like ad art thing, internet things on for this, and I was like, oh, this could be fun. I do have the audio for this because this is massive. It is 665 pages. That's a lot of pages for a romance. But I do love the idea of this one. So we'll see what comes next. I don't know. But I've honestly rambled about both of these books a lot longer than I thought I would. Hopefully we'll be starting something in the next couple of days that will be the next book for this. But I'll see you when I see ya. Hello. We are trying something out, so hopefully you can hear me. It's fine. Anyway, we are having, I think, a lazy day. It is Saturday the 21st of January. I have like 2 weeks to finish all of the rest of these. 2 weeks? I think it's like 2 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks to finish all of these books. And instead of moving forward with the playbook series, because they've all been 3-star reads, I decided to change up the plays. This is me attempting to do football humor. Today we're starting this chunker of a thing. This book is 665 pages. I'm gonna attempt to do this all this weekend. I have the audio, so I'm gonna be listening and reading for this one. I haven't done that in a while, which will be nice. I don't know if I can handle slow burn at the moment, but we're gonna try. I'm interested to see where this goes. I have high expectations, which could be detrimental to me, but this is where we're going. I am not entirely sure about what this is. I think it has marriage convenience, fake dating, that type of thing in there. So a lot of things that I love. So I'm gonna go get started on this, and like everything else, the updates between, now and the next one could be 2 days, could be 2 weeks, could be 2 hours, could be whatever, but hopefully I will have an update on this soon. Did y'all miss couch updates? Because they're back for a minute. And I'm just gonna update you once I finish the book, and that book is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. This was not supposed to be on my January TBR. It's gonna be on my February TBR, but the playbook series hasn't really been as spectacular as I was hoping it would be. So I was like, let's change up. It's the only other book that I actually own that I know of that's a football romance. So I picked this up over the weekend. It is a chunker, but I had the audiobook, and I finished it, and I gave it 5 stars. It was more like a 4.75. Like, there's just this tiny bit, but this took over my life. I'm having some real good, I'm not putting makeup on for this. So I'm having some really good, outside of that playbook series, I'm having some really good luck in terms of reading. So, but I guess this is for this vlog specifically, not for the month. So this vlog hasn't had the best reading, but this book was 5 stars. This is The Wall in Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. This is a slow burn contemporary football romance, but there's not a ton of football in it especially compared to the other series. There's like very little like actual going to games, doing football-y things. There's a little bit towards the end, but in general it's not that, which is fine with me. But this is the story of Vanessa, and Vanessa works for Aiden, the Wall of Winnipeg, and he's this big football player dude, but he's very grumpy, he's very reserved, he's kind of a jerk. And Vanessa decides that she is quitting. She no longer wants to be his assistant. She saved up enough money to work on her graphic design business, and she wants nothing to do with them. So she leaves, she gives her notice. Aiden becomes a bigger jerk. And then a couple of weeks later, he shows up at her door and basically begs her to come back. And he begs her to come back because he is a Canadian citizen, and he's living in the US, so he needs to get his green card. So he needs someone to marry to stay in the country. And despite the fact that they aren't even really friends, he insists that it is Vanessa. And the two of them kind of embark on this journey. And it's so good. And I don't know what's happening here. This makes me look like I got punched in the face. But y'all, I'm still not putting makeup on. I promise I was not punched in the face. So it's the story of the two of them and them moving from very much not even really friends to lovers, but like also maybe it was a I've loved you from afar from a long time type of situation. It needed to be this big. Like, you ask what kind of romance needs to be this big, this one, because it starts at a place where I don't know that you could move them to a realistic happily ever after in 300 pages. Yes, the font's a little big. Yes, the writing is the real reason I think I couldn't give this like the 100% full 5 stars, like in total. Like, it's a 5-star read because I rounded up. But the thing that drove me nuts was the writing. It was a little repetitive. It's at one point it started to make sense, but it was getting to the point where it was being repetitive for no reason. So it was more like it was on the writing rather than the actual, like, it was on the writing. So, but this is just, whew, again, favorite kind of hero who has a troubled past and who, you know, doesn't need anyone in his life until Vanessa. And I had a great time with this. I'm going to be reading all of the Mariana Zapata now. I'm in. Give it to me, please. This is what I want. Taking a break for a couple of days, or a day or so, maybe, on reading in general, honestly. And then I will be finishing up the last 2 books in the playbook series. And then depending on what kind of time I've got left, which I don't imagine I'm gonna have any, I might try to slip a KU romance in there. But that's all I have left planned for this vlog. I'm gonna try, I don't have any, I tried to get B-roll. I was like, because I was at my parents yesterday and they had a game on, and I was like, oh, let me take B-roll, then realized that the NFL probably won't like me sticking footage of their games in my vlog, so I don't have video anymore. But that's fine. I thought I would learn more about this sport by doing this a little bit, and I haven't. I have no desire to watch a football game. I will probably watch the Super Bowl, but you should hopefully be seeing this before then. I might watch it in the background while I'm doing something else, but all right, I'm gonna leave this here and I will update you when I start the next book. It's Friday and I'm very excited that it's Friday. It's been a week, but I don't look at my closet. This is the last weekend that I'm hoping that this vlog is going to be going. So it's Friday afternoon right now. Starting tonight, I'm overly ambitious right now. I want to finish 2 books this weekend. It is snowing outside. I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. Honestly, I don't plan on leaving till Monday. I have enough food, water, and things to do to not. So we're not, unless I have to for some reason. So, but on top of finishing those 2 books, I have another book that I've started. I don't even know what it's called. I'll put the picture here. It's some ebook novella, football romance. I'm not very far into it. It's about a girl who's sleeping with a coworker and decides she needs to sleep with him in the office, and then gets busted by her boss, and then gets dumped and fired on the same day. and goes to Vegas for her best friend and brother's, they're getting married, wedding, and is like, where I left them off, she's determined to have a one-night stand because she's never had one before, and she's in Vegas. So that's where I'm at with that. That's part of that. Depending on how fast I actually get through all of these things, then we will read more of that series. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to finish the last books I had planned for this vlog this weekend. I'm also hoping to get this room and the office like organized. It's January. I moved in October, and I still don't have everything set up the way we're supposed to. So I would like to do that because I will feel better if my space is more organized. I also haven't been home in like what feels like 2 weeks, but it's only been like a week, and I have not done proper laundry. So I'm gonna just try to get a lot of things done. Hopefully a lot of those things are reading. Hopefully, I don't know, but that's where we're at. So I'm gonna go finish my work day, and then tonight will be coffee. Hopefully someone's doing reading sprints and football romance. Good morning. I decided to, I'm gonna actually try to vlog for this weekend. We'll see how long it actually lasts and how much content I actually was able to give you. It is Saturday morning. I am about to get on that Peloton over there and get my workout in for the day, and then all of the productivity stuff that I have, other productivity stuff that's productive, is a very long list for the next 2 days. So, but it's snowing outside, or it snowed, or maybe it is snowing. I don't know. It's supposed to snow all day. So I'm gonna go do that because I have to be on there in like 2 minutes. I think people are waiting for me. And then I will update you next. But there's a lot to do, lots of books to finish, lots of reading and other things to get done. Yes, I have boxes everywhere. I've moved forever ago, but that's the goal of this weekend, is to undo some of this. So, see you later. Hello friends, I have no idea when the last time I actually updated you on this vlog is, and I am really bad at vlogging. So I'm gonna do some wrapping up, and then if there's overlapping footage, I will deal. So the last time I where are those books? So last time I think I updated you, I was starting this. I have since then DNF'd this. I couldn't get into it, and it's driving me nuts because I really wanted to love this series. I was super excited about it. I just could not get into it. It was not moving fast enough. I wasn't really sure why the female main character was giving the male main character the time of day. He was kind of dealing with some stuff, and it's not that he shouldn't have been like what's the word I'm looking for? It's not that he shouldn't necessarily have been like cute socialized with. That's not it. I don't know. I didn't like the way she was handling it a little bit, and then just got very bored, and it just wasn't really interested in the story. So I have DNF'd this, and then I'm not even going to bother with this. I have no idea what this was even about. But I with the first two books being, if the first two books hadn't both been 3 stars, I might have pushed through for a possibility of something better, but I feel like I would have either given another 3 stars or less, and I need to value my time. So I was not going to force myself to finish these. Sadly, I was very much looking forward to it. But then I decided to play around with some things and read some KU. So I can't remember which order I read these in. So we're going to talk about them in the order that, and then hopefully it's correct. The first one is, what is it called? The first one is Home Game by Lisa Suzanne. This is the first book in the Vegas Aces series. And it follows a girl who is broken up with by her boyfriend and fired on the same day because she got caught having sex with him in his office. And so she got fired, but that same weekend she was supposed to go to Vegas for her best friend's wedding because her best friend was marrying her brother. So lots of exciting things happening in Vegas. And her brother, when she calls her brother's like, just move here. You have nothing going on for you. Just move here and you can stay across the street with this guy on my team because my house is getting renovations, so you don't want to stay here. So they do that. She goes to Vegas, she goes to the bachelorette party, and they find out that she's the only person in this group who's never had a one-night stand, and she's kind of determined now to have one on this night. She meets this guy, super cute, whatever, takes him back to her hotel room. They have this one-night stand, and turns out he's the best man and the man that she was supposed to live with after this weekend was over. And obviously her brother told all of his teammates, don't touch my sister, type of situation. And so now they're trying to get through this wedding without letting their secret go. This was okay. I don't know if I will continue the rest of the series. They're only like 160 pages long. They're all novella length, so there's not a lot to them. But this one was really interesting because it went from one night stand, brother's best friend, with some lackluster smut. The smut wasn't good. I was like, this is not hot. And then ends in this like potential for marriage of convenience or fake dating, fake marriage. No, I think they were going to actually get married. Like this weird situation, it like all completely turned itself on its head and became something very different by the end, which is fine, but that's a lot of tropes for one book. And I'm just really curious as to what is going to happen after this. So might finish it. I'm considering it a started series. I just haven't decided if and when I will actually get to the rest of this. So that's it. These are all of the books plus home game that I've read for this vlog. I will not be watching the football game on Sunday. I will be watching the halftime show though, probably. And then there's that, point in my life where for like 36 hours after that, I will be obsessed with whoever the halftime show is. So, I don't mind being obsessed with Rihanna for 36 hours. So I'm looking forward to that piece of this, but I am not a football person. The one thing that these books really did kind of show me in a way that I don't know that I've seen granted, I've only read hockey romance aside from, in terms of sports romance. And I don't know that it's quite the same, but the way there was a really interesting look at the way that the families are kind of their experiences while these players are on when their season is going, where everything is for them and only them, and everything has to be about them. And it was a really interesting look into that, especially because even though they weren't the greatest, these books were written by a NFL wife. So these were definitely, there's definitely some real life experience kind of going into these. And it was really interesting to see things like, where the families hang out during the games and what the situations are like while they're on the field and getting hurt and all that. Like those were really interesting to me because I've seen some of it in hockey, but it was definitely a different vibe for me. And I really enjoyed getting to kind of see that and kind of see how characters deal with that. So that's all I've got. If you've made it this far, thank you. Comment down below and let me know if you're watching the game on Sunday, I guess is the best question for you. Please give this video a big thumbs up, and if you have not already done so, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.